presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Interleague is back at Petco Park. It's a home-and-home series between the San Diego Padres and the Texas Rangers. Well, the Rangers are in town, led by Rougned Odor. He's back at second base, and a guy who loves interleague play. 297 average in his career, 4 home runs, 23 runs batted in interleague. Padres have a few guys who also enjoy playing the American League. Yangervis Solarte being one of them, at around 300 with 7 homers and 23 RBIs in interleague play. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, interleague play starts tonight. We welcome the Texas Rangers, the first of 4 games between the 2 teams. 2 here, 2 in Arlington. And right now, Mark, they are in last place in the American League West. The question is, what is wrong with the Texas Rangers?
Well, a lot of the pundits before the season started, of course they predict what's on paper. They expected the Rangers to maybe finish second in their division. It's pretty much a yard sale right now. Elvis Andrus hitting .285. Joey Gallo, he hits the long ball. Mazzaro hitting .231. But Beltre, you eliminate that bat from the lineup. I mean, that's a lot of hits and a lot of runs right there. Cole Hamels, one of the veterans as far as the rotation is concerned. You exit that. Some other guy has to step up. The batting average is 28th in Major League Baseball. You're not going to win a lot of games. Only hitting .219. The bullpen. Now, bridging the gap to Matt Bush, the closer, who's throwing the heck out of the ball. Well, they're 26 with a 5.10 bullpen ERA, and that's not going to win you any games either. And then free outs. Who doesn't like free outs? Put the ball in play. You expect to have some good defense. You make a good pitch as a pitcher. And you know what? The plays aren't made behind you. This is not going to win you ball games. And it's really a different dynamic in Texas because they're always known for hitting, right? Scoring a lot of runs, hitting the home run, especially in that ballpark. But when Odor can't catch the ball here and the rest of the guys can't catch the ball, free outs, that leads to a lot of defeats for the Rangers.
Trevor Cahill on the mound for the Padres, coming off a very good start last time out.
Well, hopefully he continues the trend because this is the team right now for the Rangers not hitting well. If Trevor Cahill is on his stuff, he's going to do just fine. 6 innings against the Rockies, a 6-2 victory. And everything moves, the slider, the 2-seam fastball. And don't forget about the devastating curveball from Trevor Cahill. So hopefully he continues the trend tonight against these Rangers.
When we come back, we'll delve into Corey Spangenberg settling into left field and playing every day. The offense has been good too. Michelle Margot will join us next. Baseball, brought to you by RCP Block and Brick. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. By Buick. By Petco, your complete pet store with all the nutrition, supplies, and services you need. And by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proud partner of the San Diego Padres. We get ready for Padres Rangers here from Petco Park. Let's send it down to field level and Michelle Margot.
Thank you so much, Don. Well, Corey Spangenberg is on a 6-game hit streak and has been hitting .282 since being recalled from AAA El Paso. But aside from that, he's been put in a role that he's not used to. He's already played 7 games in left field so far this season. Here's manager Andrew Green on what he's seen from him.
The defense has been, solid in the outfield, which is saying a lot for a guy who really hasn't played in the outfield in his career. So a guy's just running around catching the baseball, and he's working on it every single day. He's done a nice job out there. He's been good at third and has limited reps over there as well. At the plate, he's added competitive at-bats on a consistent basis for us. He's shown the ability to make adjustments in the box, and he's put together some good at-bats.
Spangenberg said he's comfortable and confident at the plate right now, but when it comes to defense, he's trying not to overthink his role when he's in the outfield. When we come back, Trevor Cahill on the bump for the San Diego Padres against Nick Martinez and the Texas Rangers as the Friars try to mess with Texas. First pitch coming up. Stay with us.
Back-to-back Ks for Cahill. And he swings and misses at that. Swing and a miss. The changeup. Cahill strikes out the side.
Talk about a big-time punch-out right there.
Trevor Cahill taking the mound tonight for the Padres along with his team, as it's time now for the weather report brought to you by your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. 65 degrees as we get it started. Northwest breeze at 13 miles per hour. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, Michelle Margot with you tonight from Petco Park in San Diego. Game 1 of a home-and-home series. Jeff Bannister bringing his club in here, and a look at his lineup. Delino DeShields is in left field with Rougned Odor at second base. Elvis Andrus at shortstop bats third with Carlos Gomez in center. Joey Gallo at third base in the absence of Adrian Beltre, who's on the DL. Jonathan Lucroy does the catching with Mike Napoli, the former Indian and other teams, at first base. Shin-Soo Choo in right field, and Nick Martinez batting out of the 9 spot. First pitch of this one missing for ball 1 to Delino DeShields. And Trevor Cahill on the mound tonight for the Padres. Making start number 6 of the year. The right-hander fresh off a very good start against the Rockies.
You know, you get the feeling when Cahill's out on the hill, it's win day. That's the way he's been throwing the baseball. Been throwing it really well.
That's a strike in there, and it's 2-1. It's 2-2 with a 3.60 ERA coming in. Play for DeShields to go the other way in the outfield. And a swing and a miss evens the count. The Rangers last in the American League West coming in. Lino DeShields. 254 with a home run, 5 runs batted in.
I think I would have lost that bet.
Yeah, I agree. Swing and a miss, and Cahill got down 2-0, battles back, and strikes out DeShields. A good start to the game for Cahill.
Don, you just said it. That is a battle back for Trevor Cahill, and what a way to start the ball game. You know, you give up a hit, you give up a walk, you got to go immediately to the stretch, but he battles back, makes good quality pitches for the first strikeout, which this is a team, the Rangers, which swings and misses a lot.
That brings up Rougned Odor, and Odor is a guy that is struggling along with the rest of the Rangers really offensively, but here's a guy who you're used to seeing hit pretty well, hitting at 190. Power number is pretty good though. 6 homers, 16 runs batted in. See the average drop from 200 to 190 over the last 10 games. 7 for his last 41. At least 1 strikeout in 10 straight games.
Well, here's the 4-1-1 on Trevor Cahill. His stuff moves. He's got movement to both sides of the plate and success with strike 1. Success. It's a big key.
Just gets the outside corner. Odor didn't think so. With 2 strikes now on the batter, Schimpf moves from third base to the right side of the infield to change in the shift.
You got Ibar now at shortstop with better range there at the shortstop position.
Nicely done. There's strike 3 to Odor. Dropping down a little bit there was Trevor Cahill. Back-to-back Ks.
Second most strikeouts in the American League, the Texas Rangers.
Check out the Padres defensively, brought to you by Lincoln. Left to right across the outfield, Spangenberg, Margot, and Renfroe. Schimpf at third, Ibar. 991 fielding percentage, first among National League shortstops. Solarte at second, Myers at first, and Hedges doing the catching for Cahill. 2 down here in the first, and it brings up Elvis Andrus. Chops that foul over by the Rangers dugout.
Mentioned a lot of strikeouts by this Ranger team, and that tells you one thing, that they might be swinging early to avoid the strikeout, and that could work to Trevor Cahill's advantage. If he's working down in the zone, they're going to beat that ball on the ground a lot.
Andrus, one of the guys who has been hitting well lately, or better, I should say. Last 11 games, average has moved from 263 up to 285, and hitting at 326 over the last 11 games with a couple of homers and 7 RBI. Starting to come around here a little bit, and that's third in the order. Started 32 of 33 games at shortstop so far for the Rangers. Chases after that. How about Trevor Cahill's first inning? DeShields, Odor, Andrus, all down by way of the K in succession in the first inning. Padres are coming up. Bottom of the first inning, and time now to check out Andy Green's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Toyota. Top of the order, Manuel Margot in center field with Corey Spangenberg in left field batting second. Will Myers at first base. Jan Hervis Solarte at second with Ryan Schimpf at third. Hunter Renfroe in right. Austin Hedges does the catching. Eric Ibar at shortstop, and Trevor Cahill on the mound batting out of the 9 spot for the Padres. Well, Nick Martinez ready to deal here with his first offering of the night as Margot stands in. There's ball 1 from Nick Martinez.
Well, the 26-year-old making his 4th start. Great opportunity in the rotation with a couple of injuries. Throws all 4, and he has to work down. He's got the 2-seam fastball, 92-93. First 2 pitches have been those 2-seamers. Oh, he's touching 94. So a little hot on the radar gun tonight for Nick Martinez.
Manuel Margot checking in at 273. 3 homers and 10 runs batted in. Sends it out to right center field. Gomez on the run will get there. Back shy of the track and then running onto it to rob Margot of what would have been extra bases. So 1 out here in the first inning. Let's check out these Rangers defensively. Left to right across the outfield, Delino DeShields, Carlos Gomez, we just saw go get that. Shin-Soo Choo in right, and Joey Gallo at third. Elvis Andrus at shortstop. 6 errors so far for Andrus. Rougned Odor at second base, Mike Napoli at first, and Jonathan Lucroy doing the catching for Nick Martinez. Corey Spangenberg will take strike 1. A 6-game hitting streak for Spangenberg coming in and hitting at 282. No homers, couple of RBIs. His 12th game since coming up from El Paso. Shoots it foul off to the left, and it's 0-2.
Defense playing him way over to left field. You can see that left field line. Delino DeShields protecting that down that way. If Martinez elects to go 2-seamers away.
Foul off to the left again. Nick Martinez making his 4th start of the year. A lot of fastballs and sliders for strikes.
The right-hander's hitting 353 off the fastball. Let's see if they hunt that fastball. And he'll try to elevate. The Fordham Flash. Nick Martinez was an infielder playing for Fordham.
On the ground to first base, gathered there by Napoli. He'll take it to the bag himself for the 2nd out of the inning. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, I don't know about you, but I love the keys in the game.
I love them too.
Find the big hit for San Diego. Get a couple runners on. Get that big hit. How about some breathing room for Trevor Cahill? So if he makes a mistake, it's really not a big deal. And to get to the Rangers' pen. They are 14th in the American League. We talked about in their open. An ERA collectively of 5.63.
Well, 2 down here in the first inning. Brings up Will Myers. Martinez is harder than advertised here. 93 miles an hour, 94, somewhere in there so far in the early going.
Free and easy motion, too, for the right-hander. Got good movement. That's why he's got to keep it down.
Line to left center field. That's going to get in for Myers. Over is Carlos Gonzalez sliding into the gap, and Myers into second base standing with a 2-out double.
Well, he's working the count in his favor, 1-0, and Martinez elects to throw the slider. You know what? It's a good pitch. It's down, but Will Myers has such a big wingspan. Boy, that ball, that wasn't even his best swing, and the ball jumped off his bat nicely. He went down and got it right off the sweet spot. Jared Weaver likes it. I like it. I picked him tonight. Picked the stick. Sorry about it.
2 down, Myers at second base, and Jan Hervis Solarte.
Who'd you have tonight?
Ryan Schimpf.
He's on deck.
Solarte batting now, hitting at .272, 3 homers and 20 runs batted in. Facing the 26-year-old Nick Martinez on the mound. He's over on the third base side, about as far as you can go. On the pitcher's plate, there's a fly ball out to left field, and DeShields makes the catch. It ends the inning. Padres leave Myers at second, done with 1 without a score. Venture into the second inning back at Petco Park in San Diego, and a transaction before the ball game today for the Padres. Padres have acquired Matt Caesar from the Cubs for minor league pitcher Justin Hancock. 202 games for Caesar. We've seen him in the past face the Padres, hitting at .243, 8 home runs and 40 runs batted in his major league career. So the Padres picking up Matt Caesar and Justin Hancock going to the Cubs. The Padres also transferred Buddy Bauman, the left-handed reliever, to the 60-day DL. And Bauman really had high hopes for him this year after seeing him a little bit last year, but injured during spring training and did not see him during the course of the spring, and now on the 60-day DL. Caesar, incidentally, 27 years old. Carlos Gomez did go around, and it's 2-1. Tried to hold up the swing but could not.
Caesar can play the outfield, right field, center field, left, any of the outfield positions.
Originally a Cubs 5th-round pick in 2010. Parts of 7 minor league seasons with the Cubs. Got a .281 average in the minor leagues. .3-1 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Pretty good hack right there by Carlos Gomez.
Hey, good 3-1 hack, and an even better pitch from Cahill. The changeup, the 3-1 changeup, way out in front. Actually swung underneath that one. Took a lot off that time.
Payoff pitch. And it's fouled off over by the Rangers dugout. They're housed on the third base side.
Well, with a hitter swing like that, you can tell that Cahill's going to pull the string and really not throw him a good fastball for a strike.
There's ball 4. Cahill upset with himself. Leadoff walk for Carlos Gomez. Let's time now for the tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks.
Let's look inside the toolbox of Trevor Cahill against Nolan Arenado against the Rockies. The juicy fastball. He can backdoor it, bring it back across for the strike. How about the curveball? He'll throw that anytime as well. It's a knee buckler. Arenado buckles on that one. The slider, he makes a hitter fish off the plate, throw some chum out there. Hopefully he'll bite. and then he'll go back to the two-seamer for the width.
Lead runner on, and a check on that lead runner right away. Carlos Gomez over at first base. Joey Gallo has been playing third base in the absence of Adrian Beltre. It's part of the reason the Rangers are not where they're expected to be. The absence of Beltre, no doubt.
That does so much for a lineup. We all know that if we're baseball fans and seen Adrian Beltre do what he has done at the big league level for so many years, how he can change a lineup.
Gallo has 10 homers, 21 runs batted in. Runner goes, and he is going to be headed for third base. And Cahill will be waiting for him, and now they're going to run him back. In a pickle, and he is out. Overslid second base on the stolen base. Decided as he looked up at third, nobody was there, that maybe he could get to third base rather than trying to get back to second, and ends up being thrown out.
And you know what? Heads up for Trevor Cahill. Nobody was covering third base. Here's the slide. He like slides on top of the bag. Okay, now he tries to get third. Cahill is on the run. Now we got a snowball fight going on. I'm going to get you. No, I'm going to get you. And the out, which is huge.
Almost looked like Ibar had him out anyway when he went by the bag at second initially.
I think his glove got him when he overslid the bag. I think you're right.
So officially it goes 2-6-1-6. Count of 1 and 2 here. And there's strike three. Fourth strikeout of the night for Cahill. Great start for him.
You know what? I'm not an official scorer.
Yep.
But I got to give him, as we take a look here, two-seamer, straightens him up. That's a strike, belt high strike. I got to give him a stolen base because he slid past the bag, and he wasn't tagged out yet until he tried to go to third. So he would get a stolen base, right?
I would agree with you.
Have to wait and see, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if they did give him a stolen base on that.
Interesting. You see my logic, though, right?
I do. He's already passed the bag at second. He's now moving on to try to get to third. I follow.
Any way you look at it, it's an out. It's a hang with him for the Rangers.
He's definitely out. Jonathan Lucroy with a good hack there, and it's 0-2. 225, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in. Lucroy in his 23rd game of the year. Rangers coming from Seattle, where they were just involved in a weekend series. Lost 4-3 yesterday, and 2-5 so far in a 9-game road trip.
You think he likes the number 2?
Yes, he does. There's a grounder softly by the mound out to Solarte. Nice start for Cahill tonight. He's got 4 strikeouts through the first 2, scoreless after an inning and a half.
I thought it was good. I got to do a lot of stuff here in the community. Did a lot of stuff with, the Children's Hospital here. And, I felt like I was treated like a family here. I still look to Darren Balsley like a dad.
That was former Padre Andrew Cashner on his return to Petco Park. Now, the Rangers got in around 9 p.m. last night, so he didn't get a huge chance to be able to see some of his former teammates, but when he did today, it was definitely a warm welcome of a reunion at BP. He still says he misses a lot of his former teammates, but as for the off-the-field Cashner, he's still the same, hunting and fishing in his spare time, which there's probably a little bit more of in Texas than there is here in San Diego, guys.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. Yeah, last year, saw him in Miami, of course, after the trade. He was in Miami, didn't recognize him because he wasn't allowed to wear the beard. This is to right center field, headed back towards the wall, and it's going to run off the wall. Ryan Schimpf is headed for 2. Got himself a double to begin things in the bottom of the second inning.
Well, hopefully this is a common theme tonight for the Padres. Double in the first by Myers, double by Schimpf. Nice, easy swing. Foot is out front, the hands are back. Got the good sound to it. Will Myers' double was with 2 outs. Nothing like a leadoff double to start things off here in the second.
So Schimpf at second, Hunter Renfroe standing in. But yeah, he was a little more recognizable when we saw him today before the game on the field. Definitely looks a lot more like Andrew Cashner now than he did as a Marlin.
When we went to Miami after the trade,
yeah,
he met the guys at the hotel when we got off the bus,
yeah.
and I walked right by him.
I walked by him in the clubhouse. I
did not recognize him.
Nope. Looked like a totally different guy. He's back to looking like Andrew Cashner again. By the way, 2 guys that have been around over the course of my career that have the best beards, I think, in baseball. And Cashner is one of those guys. Mike Napoli is another. And now they're on the same team together. So they have a very strong beard game.
They lead the league in best beards?
I think so.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
This is more trim, though. Napoli is more groomed.
Oh, but it will get unmanageable as the year goes on. Was last year in the postseason with the Indians. Kind of surprising Napoli is not back with the Indians after the year that he had last year, but he's now back with the Rangers yet again. No 2 pitch. Renfroe gets a piece, little number, and out to play it is Lucroy. His throw to first is in time. Nice play by Napoli. Almost went up the line, but Napoli with a good reach. Schimpf will take third base as Renfroe retired 2-3 for the first out of the inning.
See how Lucroy spins towards his glove hand side. You get more momentum that way. And then the first baseman Napoli setting up correctly at the first base bag. And as a runner, you got to stay on that line or in that throwing lane, or else you get banged. If the ball hits you, you're in fair territory. So good play all the way around.
One down, infield in, all the way around now for the Rangers with Schimpf at third and Austin Hedges on a check swing. .174, 6 homers, 15 runs driven in by Hedges. Pretty short lead at third for Schimpf. And part of the reason for that is Gallo's relatively close to the bag at third, almost holding him on.
Yeah, general rule. Now remember, you can't fake the throw to third anymore. You have to throw over if you're going to pick off. You can step off and fake, but general rule is that the runner get off as much as the position players off the bag at third.
And Hoffman checking in with Ryan Schimpf, who has that lead at third base. He doubled to begin the inning. Now 90 feet away with 1 out in the inning. That'll straighten up Hedges and even the count at 2-2.
Boy, he's doing a heavy dose. Martinez is a 2-seamers in to Austin Hedges. Why? Well, the infield is in. He wants him to top something. But with that said, you hit one hard enough, you can bounce one over the infielder's head.
On the ground, up the middle, diving is Odor, knocks it down. He's going to play nowhere, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. In from third is Ryan Schimpf, and the Padres strike first. base hit and an RBI for Austin Hedges.
Well, when the ball is hit hard like that with the infield in, it cuts down the range. 1-2 off the hill. It kind of benefits Odor, but he can't catch it cleanly. And on contact, it looked like Ryan Schimpf was going. What a great effort by Odor, and good hitting going up the middle for Austin Hedges.
So Hedges aboard at first, held on by Napoli. Here is Eric Ibar. And a foul back below us. .206, 3 homers, 7 runs batted in for Ibar. That's out of the 8th spot for the Padres. A veteran shortstop, 12th major league season. Infield a double play depth with 1 out.
Whoa. Well, that changes the count big time.
Could have been 0-2.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good pitch.
Chop foul beyond the dugout. Ibar down 1-2. Got the pitcher Trevor Cahill waiting on deck. Padres have picked up a run here in the 2nd inning, on top 1-0. Line foul. Went up to get that. Pitcher was up that time from Martinez.
And a nice play down the line. Very nice play. Got it on the 1 hop.
Reaches out, protects the plate, and carves it foul down the left field line.
Hey, it's worth another look. 1 hop off the wall and the backhand.
Oh, nice.
Nicely done.
Going first again, and back is Hedges. Ibar to left to Shields, was playing him perfectly out there, and he makes the grab for out number 2. Well, earlier tonight, Mission Fed donated $5,000 and provided tickets to the new Children's Museum. Mission Fed donates around $1.5 million a year to local charities. We thank them for all they do. Two down here in the 2nd inning. Austin Hedges at first base. And Trevor Cahill, who has started off very well on the mound, and now chops one down 3rd baseline. Called foul, though. Fouled it off his foot, apparently, and the indication by home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg.
It's very nice, Mission Federal, what they do. When does the long wave get uncomfortable as we take a look at this here?
Have you ever been in a parade?
I have.
Yeah, it gets old.
Sorry about being the Grand Marshal in the Mother Goose Parade this past offseason.
Wow, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
It gets old, though, doesn't it? The waving?
Very old.
Yeah, your
arm
hand
gets
hurts.
tired.
There's a flare to right field that's going to fall in for a base hit. So Trevor Cahill's doing it all tonight. Pitching very well through the first 2 innings, and now he's added a base hit to his resume.
Well, he fights this off. Early on, Martinez is throwing a lot of 2-seamers into the righties. Trevor Cahill gets his hands through nice, and because it's up in the zone, it enables him to just loft it in between the second baseman and right fielder for a base knock and flip that lineup over to Manuel Margot.
2 on, 2 down, a run in, and here is Margot. 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position this year with 2 outs. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flying out to the center fielder Carlos Gomez in a ball that he hit very well, but Gomez got a good jump, ran it down in the gap in right center, and then ran onto the warning track after making the catch. Line to right field, base hit for Margot. Hedges being waved around. Here's the throw from Chu, and it will be not in time. Padres take a 2-0 lead. RBI single for Manuel Margot, and it's 2-0 San Diego.
Hey, credit part of that RBI single to Trevor Cahill for staying alive in the inning with the base hit to right. Margot, we've seen him many times spank the ball to right field. Now the race is on. Outside part of home plate, Austin Hedges gets the hand in there, and the Padres add on.
Well, good start for the Padres, on top 2-0. Former Padre Doug Brocail out there right now. Two-time Padre.
Jinx.
We'll be dealing with Corey Spangenberg next. Padres doing some damage here with 2 down in the inning. Spangenberg riding a 6-game hitting streak coming in. It was a race the first time up as he grounded out to first base, and Mike Napoli made the play. 333 during the 6-gamer. Good look from the left field pole down the line. There is strike 1, dropping in at the knees. A curveball that time from Nick Martinez. We'll talk a lot about Spangenberg in the pregame show tonight and how acclimated he has gotten to left field, like he's been there a long time when he really hasn't been.
I'm glad we got a chance to talk about Corey and show him a little love in our open before the game.
Ground ball to first base. Napoli will take it himself to the bag, and that will end the inning. Padres come up with a couple of runs, including Manuel Margot with a single to right field that scores Austin Hedges. Padres lead it 2-0 over the Rangers.
Just much more comfortable in his own skin right now. He's just pitched. He's been around. He knows what it is. He knows what it takes to be successful. Just kind of the ease with which he moves through the day now. He wasn't that way in Arizona, and that's a young guy trying to prove himself after a trade with a big contract. And now he's more of a veteran guy that knows he can pitch and is showing everybody else what he can do.
when we asked Trevor Cahill about his start being pushed back an extra day because of yesterday's rainout, he was super easygoing about it. He said not a whole lot changes for him. He just has to prepare for facing a different team in the Rangers instead of the Dodgers. Guys.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. Well, he's been great so far here tonight, coming into his 6th start of the year, and now got a 2-0 lead with which to work. Mike Napoli leading it off here for the Rangers.
Like he elaborates what Andy Green said when he says he feels comfortable. He looks so comfortable out there right now. And let's face it, when you come up to the big leagues as a starter, you want to be a starter. When you are put in the bullpen, it happens to a lot of guys. You make the most of it, but the bottom line is you want to be a starter. And that's exactly what Trevor Cahill wants to be. And he's proven he belongs in the rotation with the way he's throwing the ball.
Dealing with the bottom third of the Rangers order, Mike Napoli. Swings to the 2-1, and it evens at 2-2.
A couple of good change-ups from Cahill right there to Napoli. Change-up, turning it over, and on the outside part of the plate.
Napoli so far 5 homers, 13 runs driven in, but only hitting at 169. .34 home runs last year, 101 runs driven in with the Cleveland Indians. Grounds it foul. He's a winning player right here, Mike Napoli. Seems every team he gets to ends up in the postseason one way or another. He's done great things over the years in the postseason. 2013 champion with the Red Sox. Payoff pitch to Napoli. Broken back grounder to short. Ibar's got it, and Napoli is out number 1 of the 3rd inning. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. We take a look at Cahill's strikeouts per 9 innings, minimum of 30 innings pitched, and he is 4th in that category. You got some good pitchers alongside.
Tell you what, he answers the bell once every 5th day, and he goes deep into ball games. He could be flirting with that 200 strikeout magic number.
1 down here in the 3rd inning, and it'll bring up Shin-Soo Choo. Foul back to the screen. 3 home runs so far for Choo. 12 runs batted in. Center fielder Margot over towards the left center. And now Schimpf moving over to the right side of the infield, this time with a count of 1-1. We've seen this before with 2 strikes on the batter, but now the change coming with a count of 1-1 to Choo.
And you know, they've got so many charts down there as far as what a guy hits in a certain count. They know how Trevor Cahill is going to pitch. Shin-Soo Choo. And I just noticed something about the left-handed hitter. Do you know what it is?
It's out. Close to the plate.
He is no longer wearing the double ear flap.
Oh, right.
He was a
that.
straight left-handed hitter with the double ear flaps, and now he's just going with the straight 1 ear flap.
Yep. Born in South Korea, resides in South Lake, Texas during the offseason. And he will strike out. That's strikeout number 5 for Trevor Cahill.
When you can throw a 2-seam fastball in the inner half of the plate to a lefty and straighten him up, it catches the inside corner. That's a nasty pitch.
Well, 2 down, and the pitcher, Nick Martinez, batting for himself. Strikeouts through 2 2/3 innings so far for Trevor Cahill. He has walked 1. A couple of ground outs mixed in, and it was a 1-2.
Oh, he overthrew that one.
Yeah. It slipped out of his hand. He was wiping that hand off. Two. And again away. He's a little on the cool side here tonight. Payoff pitch. And that is going to miss. Wow, where was that? Looked pretty close.
I thought that was a pretty good pitch by Trevor Cahill. I think he got squeezed on this one. Let's check it out. Oh, you bet. Down and in, right at the knees.
So Nick Martinez walking here with 2 down in the inning. Home plate umpire tonight, Jeff Kellogg. Delino DeShields standing in. "24-year-old Delino DeShields, Easton, Maryland, resides in Dallas, Texas. Taken by the Rangers, the Rule 5 draft. Little check swing grounder back to Cahill. A bobble. He's got time to recover, and he will. Wow. Off the backside of the hill. Had to hurry because DeShields can run pretty well, and he gets it there. Threw a bullet to first base as it trickled away from him. 2-0 Padres through 2.5. Around Major League Baseball, and we'll take you to the Rogers Center in Toronto. Marcus Stroman serving this up, and Kevin Pillar with a dazzling catch, leaping in the air, full extension onto, I was going to say the warning track, but it's really not a track. It's a more artificial surface out there. It's just a different color. That's all. Makes the catch out there. Marcus Stroman loved it.
The warning carpet?
Yeah, it's a warning carpet, which I don't know how it helps you if it's about footing.
Does this surprise you, Donald?
Toronto,
12-20.
You know what surprises me? The New York Yankees, 21-9 on top of the American League East. That's who surprises me. I did not think the Yankees were going to do that.
Headley's hitting, and of course the story with the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge.
Unbelievable. How about last night's game? A short one. Played at Wrigley Field, and the Yankees ended up sweeping the Cubs. 18.
Extra frame, 16?
I think it was 18.
18? 18 innings. We're going to have a discussion of that when Mark Sweeney joins us in the booth in a couple innings, so stay tuned for that one.
Should be good. But I'm surprised by the Yankees.
You like the jacket?
I love the jacket.
Thanks.
Really nice.
Thank you.
I said it was on the cool side tonight, and you broke out the long winter jacket.
Yeah.
Will Myers leading it off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. You said you bought that jacket?
1991 World Series, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Wow.
It still fits.
Swing and a miss for Myers, and the count is 1-1. Myers, total bases by first baseman Freddie Freeman, the leader far and away of the Atlanta Braves.
Here comes a two-seamer into Myers.
Pops it up right side. Napoli and Odor, and it's Odor who makes the catch for the first out of the bottom of the third inning.
He is not afraid to throw that two-seamer in, Martinez. He's done it a lot to the right-handed hitters tonight.
One down here in the third inning brings up Yangervis Solarte. Flight out to left field. Delano DeShields, who's defensively lined perfectly. The fly ball off the bat of Solarte, first time up. .46 on base percentage for Solarte. It's the highest on the Padres, and he's enjoyed hitting the Rangers. Solarte starting his career in the Rangers organization, ended up with the Yankees facing the Rangers. Two balls and a strike to Solarte. Two nothing Padres as they bat here in the home half of the third inning. Off the end of the bat foul, evens a count of 2-2. The Rangers coming in 13-19, 8 games back of the Houston Astros. And they dropped the last 2 games in Seattle before arriving here at Petco Park in San Diego for the 2 games here. Liner foul. Played 2 here and then 2 in Arlington.
Jeff Bannister into his 3rd season as the Texas skipper. And Andy Green.
Solarte grounds it foul. When was the last time you were in Arlington? Or the Padres in Arlington?
You know what? I'm so bad with that. I would say it was 2000. Was it 14? 13 or 14? I lose track.
Solarte, the swing and a miss, strikes out. That's the first strikeout for Nick Martinez. And the second out here of the third inning.
Well, he definitely went up the ladder. Is it a changeup? You bet it is. And that's the beauty of the changeup. You know, once in a while you get burned, but you take so much off it, maybe it's 8-10 miles an hour, that it's up in the zone. They will still swing early and miss it because it's not getting there as quickly as the fastball.
2 down in the inning for Ryan Schimpf. He's already got a double in this game and scored a run. Double went out to right center field off Martinez, lead off the second inning, and it's driven in by Austin Hedges on an infield hit. Picks up the outside corner and evens a count of 1-1.
Martinez works rather quickly, just like Trevor Cahill. Martinez, the first player from Fordham University to appear in a big league game since. I gave him a shout out the other day about frogging a tennis racket.
High drive, deep right field for Ryan Schimpf, down towards the pole, and it is gone. A home run for Schimpf. 3-0 Padres.
It's a hitter's count, 2-1, and Ryan Schimpf, does he get the fastball? He certainly does. Four-seamer, it leaks right down the middle. You talk about a jumbo home run off the bat of Jumbo Schimpf. And to answer the question, that's the way Pete Harnish used to give them up.
Aha. This one fouled down the right field line.
That's a good looking swing. He makes it look so easy, doesn't he, Ryan Schimpf?
It's had a great beginning to the year power wise for Schimpf. 20 home runs last year for him.
There's no doubt about that one. It's just a matter if that ball was going to hook.
Now a drive out towards left center field. Gomez moving over though, and the center fielder makes the catch to retire the side. Home run for Ryan Schimpf, and the Padres take a 3-0 lead at the end of 3 from Petco Park in San Diego.
The New York Yankees take a swing at Joey Votto and the Cincinnati Reds. That's tomorrow at 4 Pacific on FS1.
It's on to the 4th inning. Padres have jumped out to a 3-0 advantage, and Rougned Odor is going to lead it off here for the Rangers. Mark Sweeney in with us here. The middle innings, and so far Trevor Cahill has been outstanding.
Well, that two-seamer has been excellent tonight. Also throwing it into the left-handers. But getting ahead, as you said, Mark, early in the game.
Oh, yeah, he's locked in. He's in quite a groove. He's working quickly, making solid pitches.
Odor struck out first time up, and all of a sudden finds himself down 0-2.
Well, Trevor challenges you because there's a lot of action in his delivery. From the hitter's standpoint, very difficult to pick up that release point.
To throw his 50th pitch of his outing. First batter here of the 4th inning. And Odor skipping out of the way of that.
There's nothing wrong with that because Odor likes to feel comfortable in the batter's box. So even with a breaking ball, if you move their feet, that's just it's a thought in the minds.
And I think he's thrown the changeup quite well tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws him a changeup right here. 2-2 count.
Set up to do it.
Oh, there it is. He missed, though. You throw 2-2 to go 3-2. Why not throw a 3-2, right?
There's nothing wrong with that if you have confidence in doing it.
Chop foul outside of first. Went back to fastball. I think
that's a two-seamer that Mark was just talking about into lefties.
(3-2) to Odor, and it's a ground ball by the mound. Shift is on, and it's Ryan Schimpf who gets it there in time.
Markey talked about the two-seamer, brought up the changeup just recently. There are two changeups right there. The last time Andrus swings at the slider down away. There's a two-seamer that straightens up Joey Gallo. And I'll tell you what, he's repeating the delivery. The release point is on. He's making good quality pitches, and he's got 3 runs to work with here.
And you could see him pitching at the top of the zone too, and you wonder why a two-seamer wants to be elevated. He has that east-west action that's really good. It's not that straight fastball at the top of the zone. He has movement, and at times he can actually go north-south with that as well, which really makes it difficult for the hitter.
Okay, we saw first pitch fastballs at 10 of the first 11. Did not throw a fastball there. Do you think he changes it up here a little bit? Second time through, Mark? Talking to you.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know which Mark you were talking about.
No, Mark Grant Mudd. And the question again is, since you didn't hear it the first time, he threw 10 of 11 first pitch fastballs.
Right.
Does he switch that up second time
No,
through?
I
Why?
say stick to the strength until they get. If they're teeing off on the first pitch fastball, why change it up? Some guys might go through the second time and flip up a slider for a first pitch, but hey, if he's got the movement like Mark said, Mark Sweeney, I say stay with it. Right, Mark?
Are you talking to me? I'm just
You
kidding.
want me to repeat it to you?
So what? This is what I look. I like to see the second time through, giving them different looks, because if you're pitching well and you see Cahill now getting into a groove, you put too many thoughts into those hitters' minds. Now they start guessing.
There's ball 4. Andrus gains a walk here. Third walk allowed by Cahill. That comes with one down here in the 4th inning.
Now that was a 3-1 changeup that missed. Now that tells me he's got some serious confidence in that. He just kind of pushed it, worked underneath it a little bit. And through the first time in the lineup, wow. Look at the second time.
That's making good adjustments. Got to be careful in this situation, because after the walk, they will be hunting that fastball.
1 out, 1 on. Carlos Gomez, the batter. He walked in the second inning, 1 of 3 allowed by Cahill in this game.
I would be surprised if he throws a slider right here, missing up with the fastball, get that release point down a little bit.
Swing and a miss, and it was indeed the slider.
Well, guys, you think about situations that the Texas Rangers are involved in. Adrian Beltre out of their lineup, the struggles that they've had offensively, and it really comes down to that presence in the order. And you know he's in the middle of the order every single night. That has been devastating for the Texas Rangers. And Jeff Bannister.
Well, a disappointing start for them, and I point to that as one of the reasons for sure. Their bullpen also has had some problems. Defensively, they've not been good. And that's part of the Adrian Beltre thing, because he is an outstanding Gold Glove Award winning third baseman.
One of the best third basemen in the game, but he brings that emotional attachment I think a lot of these young hitters for the Rangers need.
Well, it's like any good hitter, right? If he gets hot, imagine the pitches that the hitter in front of Beltre is going to be seeing. Because you don't want to pitch around that guy to get to Beltre with the guy on base.
It's so true.
The whole dynamic changes.
There's so many things that you have to watch, and it is really fun to watch Adrian Beltre at his craft. For a younger player, there's examples right in front of you. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Tim Timmons, first base umpire.
Oh, I thought he went. That was parallel to the field.
All in 2 strikes here to Carlos Gomez. With Andrus at first base, 1 away here in the 4th inning. Check on it, and he's out. Picked off. Cahill picks off Andrus. He wants him to challenge it, staying on the bag at first base.
Well,
We'll
he was
see.
definitely leaning. You could see his momentum going towards second base. Looks like he got in there here. Good tag by Myers on that back.
They are going to challenge.
Steve Buechele, the bench coach for the Rangers, on the horn.
Jeff Kellogg and Tim Timmons will be joining him here. Timmons made the call on the crew chief. Tough to tell, and the call on the field, of course, is what is the thing, and the thing is here that he has been called out. And is there enough there to overturn it is the question for the Rangers, who have challenged.
Well, you really couldn't tell from that first angle because you were kind of blocked by Will Myers, his leg. So it'll be interesting to see what other angles that they have. It did look like, though, his hand got in there.
Well, you see Will Myers, and he receives the throw, but also applying the tag. Very difficult for Tim Timmons to identify where that tag is applied.
I don't think they're going to have enough to overturn.
I haven't seen enough yet. Andrews clearly thought he was back, diving to the outfield side.
Well, you would think the Rangers had an angle to be able to look at that and challenge this play. Top of the fourth, Jeff Bannister taking that opportunity.
I think the longer it goes, it swings into the favor of the Padres, and the call staying the same.
I agree.
I think it gives Trevor Cahill to throw a pitch, get the feel, keep the feel of those pitches, and then get back up on there and throw another one when he feels he wants to throw another slider or sinker or curveball, whatever the case may be.
He's been in such a good rhythm. The last thing you want to do is have him standing around for very long. As the play is under review, and challenged here by the Rangers. All the field was out on a pickoff from Trevor Cahill at first base. And it looks like they have made a decision. And he is safe, so the call has been overturned. And winning the challenge are the Rangers. So Andrus will remain at first base. Rangers keep their challenge. You took 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Evens up at 2-2 to Carlos Gomez, with Joey Gallo waiting on deck. There is Gallo, another guy who has good power, 10 homers. Cool night tonight from Petco Park in San Diego.
That's getting in the kitchen right there with a 91 two-seamer. And if that ball's put in play, heads up on the left side, Schimpf and Ibar.
Well, I think if you're an infielder and you see the type of movement that Trevor Cahill has tonight, you're on your feet. You know your reactions have to be on point tonight.
Breaking ball right here.
Cahill coming into the start tonight individually at 2-2. Good ERA at 3.60. His 6th start of the year, coming off a fantastic start. Last time out against the Rockies. To left field. Spangenberg, he's going to let that one fall in front of him for a base hit. He was playing deeply in left. And did not really want to gamble there in left field and come in, so he kind of backed off a little bit, and that's a base hit, the first hit of the night for the Rangers.
Well, this is an experience for Corey Spangenberg, because this ball stayed up in the air a long time. See that first movement in, and then he just holds his ground. There's times as an outfielder, and that makes it difficult. You have to commit to what you see off the bat.
So that's the first hit of the night for the Rangers, and it comes in one out here in the 4th inning.
I was just going to say I'd rather see that than what you said, Mark. You commit and it gets by you to the wall. You've got a guy who's throwing sinker ballers. You got a guy who's throwing sliders. His game is when he's on the ball's on the ground. Hey, take your chance. You go station to station rather than possible run and a guy standing on third.
Yeah, well, people might say, well, why is he playing so deep with the sinker baller? But with inexperience, your favorite thing to do is coming in rather than going back. That's your preference to most outfielders. They'll play a little bit deeper. But I always say, Steve Reed, the sinker baller, always used to tell me as an outfielder, he tried to pull me in. He said, listen, if I make the mistake, it's on me. I want you to play in to take those hits away.
Popped up, foul ground. Schimpf will head over towards the seats, and he's got to play, and he makes it for the second out here of the 4th inning. We talked about a little bit about Adrian Beltre tonight and their key pieces missing, and of course Cole Hamels with a strained oblique, and Tyson Ross, who we had the chance to visit with before the game. Of course, the former Padre, the opening day starter last year for the Padres, shoulder surgery, and through a simulated game here today on the field.
Well, you talk about two veteran guys, Hamels from the left side, Ross from the right side, and we had a chance to look at Tyson Ross after the surgery. He was throwing bullets out there today, and he said he felt great. He had the thoracic surgery in the shoulder to clear it out, so he's feeling free and easy. And of course, Mark Sweeney talked about Adrian Beltre, the absence of his bat. So that's 3 components right there. That's big for the Rangers.
A lot of reunions taking place today. A lot of the coaching staff and players from last year coming up to see Andrew Kashner and Tyson Ross, now both members of the Texas Rangers.
Saw Cash wore his hunting gear to their batting practice.
Could hardly see him.
It's good to see the boys, even though they're in a different uniform.
A 1 to Lucroy, and a good pick by Hedges.
Well, that's a very difficult pick for Austin Hedges, because on a fastball, you're not trying to block those. The anticipation and the glove work by the young backstop.
Thinking about what he's going to put down here. 2 outs and 2 on. First real threat the Rangers have posed in this game.
He'll throw the 2-seamer in a lot here.
It's pitch 70 of the night for Cahill. 25th pitch of the inning coming up here.
Not the best ratio, but look at the scoreboard. He's only given up 1 knock, and he's up by 3.
Behind here, 3-1.
That's why I think the pitch ratio, balls and strikes, is overrated. I've seen guys, Mark, I'm sure you have, 2 pitch gems when they're even and 50-50. If you fall behind, there might be a night where a guy makes a good quality pitch and gets out of a jam.
On the ground, left side. Ibar at short, goes to second base for the force out that will end the inning. Done with 3.5. Padres have a 3-0 lead. Into the bottom of the 4th inning. Time now for our San Diego fans of the game. Join the Padres and Rangers in game 1.
I love pizza.
What do you have on your pizza, Mark, when you have pizza?
Extra sausage. How about you?
Did you just snort?
I did.
How about you?
I like extra sausage. Apparently you heard. Austin Hedges going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
You guys could share a pizza.
Yes, we could, but there's not enough for everybody.
We'd have to get 2. Hey, a long rest for Martinez, so let's how he reacts here in this bottom half of the 4th.
They've up 2 in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd. Big night so far for Ryan Schimpf. Hedges, Ibar, and Cahill, 7, 8, and 9.
You know, it looks to me when we look to see Martinez now starting his 4th inning of work, he does not try to force that 2-seam into the righties at all. He's just nice and easy, get into a release point, let the ball do the work. He's not forcing it at all.
And he's really working Hedges inside. Starting to crowd him a little bit. You're wondering if they're trying to set that 2-strike pitch up. With that slider away. That's the ball he got the hit on last time.
Hedges drives this to deep center field. Back goes Gomez at the wall. It's gone. Austin Hedges hits his 7th home run of the year, and the Padres jump on top 4-0. Second hit of the night for Hedges, and this one goes out of the yard.
Boys, we've seen some home run swings from Austin Hedges, but handling the strike zone and 2-strike hitting for Austin. This is probably the at-bat that he's going to go back and look at. Continuing to pound him in. This is a mistake on the inside part of the plate. But the extension and driving through that baseball had a lot of carry on it.
Now Eric Ibar. Nicely done for Austin Hedges, his 7th home run of the year, and his hitting coach right there to relive it with him. Time now for AARP's Getting to Know Eric Ibar. His career Major League home run was against these Texas Rangers in September of '07. That hurt. Down he goes. Already got that protective shin guard. Front right leg. Surrounded the plate and missed. 3-1. First 3-ball count for Martinez. Well, a liner down the right field line. That'll go foul. It's kind of hooked down to that right field corner. Padres getting 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 so far here in the 4th. There's a payoff pitch. And that's ball 4 to Ibar. First walk allowed by Nick Martinez of his outing. To the mound goes Jonathan Lucroy. Bannister not liking what he's seeing here so far.
Well, I think on the flip side, Andy Green has to be very excited of the at-bats that he's getting from this group tonight. They are continuing to try to execute a plan. I hear that a lot as the year goes along. The consistency of having a plan and executing it. Seen some quality at bats tonight.
There's Trevor Cahill, who has a hit tonight of the 7 the Padres have put together. And he's already squaring, and he offered. Bunts at it again, and this is going to be a foul ball. Happily let it roll to make sure.
MLB TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free, I said free, subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Runner at first, nobody out, a run in. Trevor Cahill has tried to bunt twice and already squaring again through to first base, maybe to see what he was going to be doing. And he was showing bunt.
Well, you know what's important here about getting that bunt done? Not only the sacrifice, but you know, we mentioned it earlier, the Rangers, a lot of miscues, a lot of errors this year. Have them throw the ball around, put the ball in play.
Gets it down with 2 strikes. Napoli will throw to first base. 3-4 on the sacrifice that's complete as Ibar takes second base. Got Manuel Margot coming up. You may wonder where he ranks as far as base hits go among rookies in the National League. Well, he's got the most, 36 base hits, far and away, 11 more than Hunter Renfroe, his teammate. Josh Bell, Pittsburgh, Andrew Toles, we just saw the Dodgers, and Manny Pena of the Milwaukee Brewers. Here he is with a hit already tonight, singled in the 2nd inning. Now he's going to single here in the 4th inning, and going to 3rd is Ibar. 1st and 3rd with 1 out for the Padres. 2nd hit of the night for Manuel Margot.
Now, obviously, he has the amount of hits he has, but the aggressiveness. Hit the ball the other way the last time out, but also watch the rhythm and timing. Compact swing, but aggressive style. Lot to love about this young center fielder.
You know what I like about him, Mark? You made the point. He can go the other way with the best of them, and then he turned on that one. And with the hits leading the rookies, word travels quickly, but yet it doesn't seem to be hurting Margot. He's making adjustments, it seems, right?
Yeah, his 2-strike approach has been much better. With experience, you're going to see this young man do a lot in the game.
And
it's a big ceiling that you have.
And I'm sure there'll be there's always peaks and valleys, right? How quickly can he get out of that valley to string those hits together and still produce?
Yeah, I agree with that. And you know, guys, that you have to embrace challenges. And that's what makes Manny Margot special. You look like he doesn't back off on these tough challenges he's already had early in the season.
Corey Spangenberg batting here with runners at the corners, 1 down. He's grounded out twice to first base in this game. He fouls it off his foot. Well, the Padres were in dire need of a timely hit in that series against the Dodgers. Just could not come up with one. And so far tonight, with runners in scoring position, 3-4-6. Much better in that category tonight than they have been lately. And at the moment, on top 4-0, looking for more here in the bottom of the 4th.
And what I love about this situation, hopefully the Padres add on, but it gives more breathing room for Trevor Cahill. Possibly go deeper into the game, too, and save the arms in the bullpen. Hey, if you give up a solo shot or maybe, you know, a hit here, another run there, you still have a lead. So add on here. Keep pushing it.
Well, with this countdown, and you know there's reason to be aggressive if you're Manny Margot at first base. Not a bad stealing position because you have a veteran guy at 3rd base in Ibar. Possible double steal if they can execute.
relatively short lead for Margot, and he got back to the bag.
I think they're smelling what you're smelling, Mark. Thinking along the same lines, possibly.
Spangenberg gets a piece, stays alive. Already 2-hit games for Manuel Margot, Ryan Schimpf, and Austin Hedges. And Schimpf and Hedges have both gone deep in this game. Margot started and stopped as the pitch misses away to Spangenberg. Action for the first time in the pen right now for the Rangers. Fights it off, and that one he got jammed on in on the thumbs. Gibbons Dirks warming in the pen. On the ground, foul. This at bat continues. Spangenberg wasting a lot of pitches here and fouling him off, fighting him off. Good at bat right now for Corey Spangenberg. Something else driving up the pitch count for Nick Martinez. As you pitch of the at bat coming up.
As you get deeper in the count, you start getting more and more confident, picking out that release point of Martinez.
Ibar at third, Margot getting that lead at first base. 2-2 pitch. And a foul again off to the left out of play. Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Inning started with Austin Hedges homering a walk for Ibar. The sacrifice bunt laid down by Trevor Cahill with 2 strikes, and then Margot with a single to left. 2-2, swung on and missed, and Spangenberg strikes out. A 9-pitch at bat, and ended up getting him is Martinez. Second strikeout for Martinez.
Forcing fastball up the ladder after a battle by Corey Spangenberg, fouling him off left and right. He goes up the ladder, the top rung for the strikeout.
So 2 down in the inning. At the corners for Will Myers.
Mark, that's a tough pitch to lay off, I would imagine.
It sure is. And as you see the stats on Will Myers, this is a pretty interesting stat, how he handles the balls inside, especially the fastball. But you're right, Mark. You think about Corey Spangenberg and constantly battling a lot of off-speed pitches, but then changing that eye level. 2-2, getting behind that fastball.
There's the proof there. Fastball's in, 563, third 33. Belt buckle down and in. Likes to turn on it.
Pitch 80 coming up for Martinez. It's the hardest he's had to work in any inning so far. He's 7 pitches deep in this inning. Falls behind Myers now, 2-1. Will doubled back in the first inning. Popped out to second base in the third. Padres are out hitting this Texas Rangers team 8-1. Myers to center field, falling fast, but Odor will go out and get it. Nice running catch by Rougned Odor to end the inning. Austin Hedges started the inning with his 7th home run of the year. Gives the Padres a 4-0 lead at the end of 4 from Petco Park.
Nice.
Padres baseball brought to you by San Diego County Lexus dealers, who invite you to test drive a Lexus today. By Sycuan Casino, sign up for the Padres Club Card today. And by Jerome's Furniture, proud sponsor of the best seats in the house. Padres Hall of Fame here at Petco Park in San Diego as we venture into the 5th inning. Padres enjoy a 4-0 lead, out hitting the Rangers 8-1. Bottom 3rd coming up here for Texas. Starts with Mike Napoli. Trevor Cahill ready with his 73rd pitch. Only 1 hit through the first 4 innings, so you struck out 5 along the way and walked 3 on the night. Napoli grounded to the shortstop and Eric Ibar in the 3rd inning.
Just about to say, how about a quick one here? 7, 8, 9, bottom of the order. Got to go.
Well, he has the ability to pitch to contact as well. He has the stuff to punch people out.
Only behind here, 3-1 to Napoli. Napoli gets jammed and pops it up. Cahill looks like he wants it, but from 3rd, Schimpf will take charge. Now time for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Cody Bellinger named the NL Player of the Week, largely for what he was able to accomplish here over the weekend. 3 home runs this week, 12 RBIs. And Yonder Alonso, the American League Player of the Week, former Padre, a .409 average. 5 home runs in 6 games, and the New York Yankees 6 straight wins. They beat the Reds tonight after getting to Cincinnati somewhere in the neighborhood of, what, 4 in the morning?
Wow.
Maybe later.
That's a rough go-around right there.
Whew, after their extra inning game last night against the Cubs.
Oh, you want to be on the winning end of the 18th inning. But the Yankees can do no wrong right now. They have a lot of confidence.
Went to Chicago and swept the Cubs in that 3-game series. Shin-Soo Choo, strikeout victim in the 3rd.
Nice. He's got the feel.
Skip in, even the count at 2-2. Historic night last night. 6 hours 5 minutes. Set the record for the longest interleague game ever. Struck out 48 times, which is a major league record as well. Teams combining. And the Yankees striking out 26 Cubs. This one fouled off to the left out of play.
Well, Mud, you saw the 48 strikeouts, and we know what Tony Gwynn did in the Padre uniform. You know the career high for Tony Gwynn for strikeouts in a year?
I want to say he was, I know one year was 15. It had to be under 30, fewer than 30.
40.
Was it really?
40 was his career high for a year. Puts things in perspective in one game.
You had the feeling, and I watched a lot of it from about the 13th inning on, that it was never going to end.
That was a tough one because the way it, with Chapman coming in, and they had a 3-run lead, you think it was just going to be sealed. Ends up hitting Anthony Rizzo on the wrist to tie the ball game up with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Boy, what that does to a bullpen. Oh. That affects team for weeks.
Yeah, it's transaction for a while to try to get them right.
Ball 4 and Chu down to first base. 4th walk allowed by Cahill.
Well, since the WBC, we saw some games right here in San Diego, which has different rules. I pose the question to you, gentlemen. Mark Sweeney, you first. Do you incorporate the WBC rules for extra innings?
I do not. And the reason for it, just what you said, your point that you said, it changes everything for both of those teams for a long time. So if you're, say, 6-7 games beat back in the division, and that first place team falters because of that big game, that's the reason why I keep it the way it is.
To me, it's too drastic of a change.
I think so too. I think I'm all about evolving and changing certain ways, but to add base runners, whether it's the 10th, 11th, or 12th inning, whatever, you got to earn your way on base. And that's the beauty of the game.
You know, when you think about the Yankees and how they won, Aaron Hicks ends up laying down a bunt in the 18th. It's thrown into right field. He goes to second. Well, that's you have the scenario because of the way he was thinking, trying to put pressure on them. You have to think outside the box.
Squaring is Martinez and offering. Now down 0-2.
I just don't want them to make the change, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't want them to make the change because of what we always hear now. They're worried about injuring pitchers because there's guys in AAA that are dying to get up to the big leagues. That might be their opportunity because they've used other guys. Yes, you end up getting optioned, but that's one of the things that we've dealt with that for so many times. It makes the game very interesting when you go through an 18-inning game.
I remember that 22-inning affair here against the Colorado Rockies back in, gosh, I forgot what, 04 maybe? 2-1 final.
Martinez strikes out.
22 innings.
Wow. Two down. Chu at first base. Top of the order. Delino DeShields coming up.
And I believe Kip Wells of the Rockies struck out Glendon Rush for the final out.
Wow. Well, Kyle Hendricks was the victim of the strikeout last night to end the game for the Cubs.
Shields 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out.
Oh.
Wow. That's the second time tonight that Austin Hedges has picked the fastball. How about this? The reactions. Trying to set up inside and going across your body. Not easy with a catcher's glove.
Swing and a miss and fooled on the change.
Did you see that wiffle ball? That thing had some serious movement, not only back and forth, but off the table on the changeup.
Runner goes, swung on and missed, throw down, and it is not in time. Chu able to steal second base. As taking strike 2 is to Shields, and Hedges shakes his head. Thought he might have had him.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but one of the fun things to watch going to the ballpark, watching Austin Hedges go right from the ear on the snap throw. He is so quick. Look at that accurate throw. Sure, it could have been down a little bit more, but right where Solarte can handle it easily and make the slap tag. Sure, he was safe, but I'll tell you what, special catcher right there. His mechanics. Most choice.
Swing and a miss, and Cahill gets his 7th strikeout. Ends the top of the 5th inning, halfway through, 4-0 Padres. Nationals and Orioles battling, and Mark Trumbo's first inning solo home run. Now look where he hit that home run from. That pitch was 4 feet, .62, highest as far as the pitch since 2008, according to Major League Baseball. That thing was up by his chin, and he took it out of the yard.
Unbelievable.
About getting on top of that one enough to send it on its way.
We saw Trumbo put on a show in the home run hitting contest here at Petco for the All-Star game. But doing it in a game when a pitch is at your chin.
Off Gio Gonzalez. There's a ground ball to first base. Napoli's got it. He'll flip to Martinez, who covers the bag. And we will get another look at where that pitch was to Mark Trumbo. Wow.
I mean, that's not a swing you practice. You think about it, even in batting practice, you're taking that. It's a swat rather than a swing.
And one down here in the 5th inning. Ryan Schimpf with a double in the 2nd, a home run in the 3rd. In the air to right field, back goes 2. He will have room this time as he makes the catch on the track in right field. So Schimpf retired for the first time tonight.
Mark Sweeney was a little bit too quick on that one.
Well, it sounded like it was a little bit off the end of the bat for Ryan Schimpf. Again, you see the timing and rhythm is there on the changeup, right out front. See him extend just a little bit more and puts his head down. Still a nice swing by Ryan Schimpf.
So 2 down brings up Hunter Renfroe, 0 for 2 in the ball game. He's grounded out and flied out. 3rd look for him, Nick Martinez. Padres got 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and enjoy a 4-0 advantage as they bat here in the home half of the 5th. Not been a big strikeout night for Martinez. He has struck out 2 and walked 1 through 4 2/3 innings. Strikes out Renfroe to pick up his 3rd K, and gone are the Padres in order in the 5th, but on top 4-0. Summary: Padres had the 1-0 lead when Manuel Margot, the base hit to right field, would score Austin Hedges with the 2nd Padres run. Then a home run for Ryan Schimpf in the 3rd inning. The solo shot is 9th of the year. Puts the Padres on top 3-0. And speaking of home runs, Austin Hedges with a home run in the 4th inning. Hedges getting his 7th of the year, and it gives the Padres a 4-0 advantage. So 2 home runs tonight for San Diego. As we head into the 6th inning, the Padres out hitting the Rangers 8-1 and on top 4-0 for Trevor Cahill. There is action in the Padres pen as the inning begins. And Odor will pop this up. Left side, foul ground. Schimpf makes the catch for the first out here of the 6th inning. Cahill had 94 pitches in his outing. Has one down here in the 6th. There's Kevin Quackenbush just back from El Paso, and Brad Hand is also warming alongside. So double-barreled action right now in the Padres pen. One out in the 6th inning for Cahill. Elvis Andrus, the batter. He has struck out and walked. Andrus, a guy who enjoys interleague as far as hits go. 154 against the National Leagues. Young and Kinsler ahead of him in that category.
Mark Sweeney, I start with you. You like interleague?
I do like interleague.
And why is that?
I think it just gives you a different look. Obviously, I think a lot of people think it takes its course, but I like going to the other ballparks. I like it varying it up a little bit.
I love it. Always have, and it is selfishly because I like going to the other ballparks. I like seeing the other players from the other league. You don't have a chance to see on a regular basis.
It is refreshing.
I like seeing National League teams use the DH and how they're going to handle that. If they're going to give guys a day off from playing their normal position.
Now, do you think that baseball as a whole will turn to going to the DH all the way around? I think they will. Eventually, someday.
I don't think they will. I think they're going to stay with that.
Really?
I do like the idea of changing it up a little bit. I'd like to see the DH in the national parks and the pitcher hitting for himself in the American League
I think
parks.
it should be swapped as well.
Yeah.
To give the American, like in Texas, like to your point, it should be DH here.
Yep.
So the Padre fans can get an idea how the game works, and then when we go to Texas, like you said, have the pitchers hit.
I think the National League game, and having been in the American League as long as I've been, I think it is a more strategic game. There's a lot more going on. There's a lot more things that managers have to worry about. And I think it's great. I don't think they should change it at all.
I agree with you, Don. I mean, as you know, I grew up in Boston, so the Red Sox were the only team we could watch. So that's the only style that you knew.
Right.
It was the DH and slugging the ball and being able to do that. I love the National League style. I love the options that you have as a manager.
Hit by the pitch. And down to first base goes Gomez. So a walk. And a hit batter here. Right off the top of the knee area, and also got Hedges on the carom. So walk and a hit batter with one down in the inning. Sent out Hedges, and Darren Balsley just off the phone. Not sure if he was checking to see if either one of those guys are ready out there in the pen. Jabari Blash is ready. And looks like going to have a double switch. Blash is headed out to the outfield, and Andy Green headed out to talk to Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire. So Cahill with one out of the 6th inning. His night will be over, just up over 100 pitches at 101. And the pitching change from Petco Park in San Diego, with the Padres on top 4-0, and the crowd will let Trevor Cahill know what they thought of his outing here tonight. As he departs, Andy Green will make the change. One out, runners at first and second, with the Padres on top 4-0. And Brad Hand on the mound here, dealing with Joey Gallo. Open stance from the left side. And there's strike one from Hand. He comes into this situation with 2 on, 1 away, into his 15th game of the year.
Well, Brad Hand, great numbers all the way around. Lefties only hitting 100 off the lefty, and Joey Gallo versus lefties 154. So you do the math.
That's in for strike 2. Same pitch, and so far working well. And started with Odor fouling out to Schimpf in foul ground, third base way. Andrus walked. Gomez hit by a pitch. Cahill in 5 1/3 only gave up 1 hit. But responsible for the 2 men on. Strike 3 call. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 2 down in the inning. First strikeout for Brad Hand.
Uno, dos, adios. 3 breaking balls. Not even a swing.
2 down in the inning, 2 on, and Jonathan Lucroy coming up. Oh for 2. He's grounded out to second base, reached on a fielder's choice. Strike 1.
Jonathan Lucroy, when he's going well, he likes the ball elevated. See the Padres trying to drive that ball down in the strike zone with both the fastball and the breaking ball.
Andrus at second base, Gomez at first with 2 down here in the 6th inning. Sprayed foul down the right field line, out of play.
Lucroy got caught in between there. It looked like he was sitting on the breaking ball and fired on the fastball.
Second straight very good outing tonight for Trevor Cahill. Watches here as Brad Hand is taken over from the pen. Well, operating at 94 miles an hour that time, but a tad inside.
This is when those catchers are aware that you're trying to sit on that breaking ball. They will double up with the fastball. See if Austin Hedges goes inside again.
I love the double up.
Breaking ball, and he struck him out. Brad Hand comes in, faces Joey Galley. Jonathan Lucroy, back-to-back strikeouts, both down by way of the K. We head to the bottom of the 6th. 4-0 Padres. Of the game.
Well, Austin Hedges is second at bat. He takes that first pitch curveball. Then Martinez really tries to work him inside with 2 strikes. He continues to hunt the fastball and deposits the mistake fastball. Austin Hedges continues to grow. After that 0 for 24 start. see the power numbers are there.
On the ground, off of Martinez, kicks out towards second. Odor on the run and in time. Nice play. Austin Hedges retired. Odor had to change his pursuit as the ball changed direction. As Martinez get a piece. So 1-4 to 3.
Well, off to the end of the bat, kind of pulled off it a little bit. And now for a middle infielder, watch Odor on the second base side. His momentum's coming towards the mound, home plate, and he's so good. He's made that play many times before to get that first out.
One out of the inning, and it brings up Eric Ibar. Line to left and walk so far tonight.
Pretty important inning for Martinez because the pitcher spot is up third next inning.
Ibarra ahead 3-0. Jabari Blash on deck, part of the double switch last inning. There's a strike, and it's 3-1 now to Ibar. There's Blash, took over in right field. So the pitcher spot of the order now is 6th. Hunter Renfroe coming out of the game, and Ibar fouls it back, full count. Home runs tonight for the Padres. Austin Hedges with 1, Ryan Schimpf with 1. A 4-0 lead over the Texas Rangers. Payoff pitch. On the ground to first base. Napoli will take it himself to the bag. Martinez was there, but Napoli didn't need him. 2 down in the inning. 7 in a row retired by Martinez. And it brings up Jabari Blash. 11 average, 1 home run, 1 RBI so far for Jabari. Blash with 7 home runs during spring training. And still trying to find his groove here this season during the regular season. To the count to Blash. And Juan Margot waiting on deck with 2 outs here in the inning. And Blash strikes out this time. 4 strikeouts for Martinez through 6. 4-0 Padres.
You're not fast enough. You're not big enough.
Sophomore year is kind of when I realized that I could actually have like a career in football. You know, more importantly than that, representing my hometown, which is San Diego, North County. I take that with heart.
This week, Inside San Diego Sports talks with local athletes on their ride to the NFL Draft. Tomorrow after Padres Live right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Well, it's on to the 7th inning back at Petco Park in San Diego. The Padres on top 4-0 and more. Brad Hand. He struck out Gallo and Lucroy to end the 6th inning. And he's out there to begin this inning against Mike Napoli. Takes the breaking ball for ball 1. Napoli 0 for 2 against Trevor Cahill in tonight's game. He grounded to short, popped out to third, getting his first look at Hand. Shin-Soo Choo on deck, and then the pitcher spot. And I imagine Martinez is done. He has thrown an even 100 pitches. Retired the last 8 Padres in a row. He's kind of settled in here in the middle innings.
You know, I liked his stuff. I liked how he pitched. He was just that. He's not a thrower. And when, you know, he's throwing, what did he touch, 94 early?
Yes, very early.
And he was not afraid to throw the 2-seamer in. It just goes to show you, you know, you can throw 90, 91 if you got some movement in, and then you just pepper away with the slider, down and away. You mix in some change-ups. He got hurt by the long ball. That's the big thing. But overall, I like the way he, quote, pitched, end quote.
Napoli grounds it left side. Picked by Schimpf. Throws him out. Napoli retired for the 3rd time tonight. 1 down in the 7th inning.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres, and they may not may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The content descriptions. This game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. Does that still count when I butcher it? Or can people disseminate this and reproduce this?
I think I can do anything with the video. There are like no rules at all.
You put
apparently.
pressure on me because you were like looking straight at me when I was doing it.
Sorry, I'll look away next time.
And I asked the guys down in the truck, does that count, guys? And they would give us a yes.
Okay.
That counts. Wow.
In the air to left center, struck pretty well. Margot going back at the wall. That ball's gone. A home run. Shin-Soo Choo taking it out of the yard. Gets the Rangers on the board here in the 7th. Fourth home run for Choo of the year, and only the 2nd hit of the game for the Rangers, but it's a big fly.
1-0 looks like a fastball. It's up, and Choo does a nice job of hitting that ball where it was pitched, not trying to pull it. And only the 2nd home run given up by Brad Hand this year. He's been pretty much money, but it goes back to my point earlier. 4-1 now. The solo shot, you know, it really doesn't hurt the Padres because of the 4-run lead now, which is 3.
Ryan Rua pinch hitting here. To his 21st game of the year, 174 average, home run, 5 runs batted in, and that's a night now for Nick Martinez. Mentioned through 100 pitches, retired the last 8 Padres he faced in a row, and on the hook here at the moment. With the Padres on top 4-1, the Rangers have finally got on the scoreboard here with 1 out in the 7th inning. Swing and a miss, and back to throwing strikes.
And it's how a guy bounces back. Hey, Brad Hand realizes he still got a 3-run lead. Go back to what works for me. You just missed with a pitch there. Sometimes guys are going to hit it out. How about a punch out right here? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He strikes out. There you go. 3rd K for Brad Hand. 2 down.
Well, he went back to the slider, down and in. And for a right-handed hitter, yeah, it's tough to hold. Oh, yeah, he went. He hits it, it's a double. Now that's bouncing back.
2 down here in the 7th, and it'll bring up Delino to Shields at top of the order. Shields has struck out, grounded back to the mound, and struck out again. .242 average for the Rangers left fielder. Last year we saw 82 times that Brad Hand worked, and now more this year, a little bit more, seeing multiple innings for Brad Hand, not just coming in for a couple hitters or an inning, maybe more than that.
Well, when you're valuable like that, and the way that the season's been going, and Andy Green wanting maybe relievers to go a little bit longer, hey, that's something you might have to elect to do.
On the ground softly, Schimpf on the run, and in time. Nice play by Ryan Schimpf. 7th inning stretch. The Rangers get on the board with a home run, but it's 4-1 Padres. Padres baseball brought to you by the all-new Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. By Petco, your complete pet store with all the nutrition, supplies, and services you need. And by your San Diego Honda dealers. Visit us at sdhondadealers.com. Been a good night for the Padres. Couple of home runs, Schimpf and Hedges. As we head to the last half of the 7th inning with the Padres on top 4-1. Some changes for the Rangers. Ryan Ruiz stays in the game and is now in left field as he takes over for DeShields, who is the final out of the last inning. And the Rangers going to the bullpen. Alex Claudio comes into the game now.
Starts one game. This is his 13th for the sidewinding lefty. Very difficult to hit when he keeps the ball down in the zone to get serious action now. And he's not a hard thrower by any means. Maybe low 80s. He'll touch 84-ish. If he gets it up, it could spell trouble.
Right to Odor at second base. Hit sharply by Margot, but he's out number 1 of the 7th inning. Not a bad job tonight by Nick Martinez, and he certainly settled into the outing and seemed to get more comfortable as the night went on. 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs. He walked 1, struck out 4 through 100 pitches, and is on the hook. But he retired the last 8 Padres that he faced. So 1 down here in the 7th, and here's Corey Spangenberg. So now the pitcher spot in the Rangers order is the first spot. It's Shields coming out. In the air to right field. Spangenberg will be the third home run of the night for the Padres. His first of 2017 for Corey Spangenberg. And the Padres have their 4-run lead back on top 5-1.
Well, we mentioned getting the pitch up, and look at on contact. That's right at the belt buckle. A little spinner, a little frisbee that just hung out there. Throw the hands, let it fly, and congratulations. Oh, that sound. Corey Spangenberg, as you mentioned, Don, the first home run this year. Hey, when we talk about him in the open, he's going to do something good. Good for Corey Spangenberg.
Will Myers batting now with the bases empty and fooled on that breaking ball from the sidewinder. Kind of running away from it. There's 1 for 3 tonight. He doubled back in the first inning.
I love the long ball. Right?
It's fun.
Who doesn't like home runs?
Myers strikes out, chases that. Second out of the 7th inning. 3 of them tonight for the Padres. And it brings up Yangervis Solarte. Turn around to bat on the right side with the left-hander out there now. Solarte looking for his first hit of the night. He is flying to left, struck out swinging, and grounded out to first base. 0 for 3. Grounder up the middle and into center field. Hitless no more. He's got himself a base hit here with 2 down in the 7th inning.
Ooh, there it is. Single up the middle for Solarte.
2 down, runner at first, and it brings up Ryan Schimpf. Schimpf 2 for 3 in the game. Double in the second, home run in the third. Flying out to the warning track his last time up. Dealing with a different guy now, though, in Claudio, the sidewinder, who got to be tough on lefties. His delivery. And that one misses away, kind of running away. So 2-0 now to Schimpf. Alan Cordoba has come out on deck, and the pitcher's spot on deck here for the Padres with 2 outs in the inning. There's Cordoba. Schimpf taking all the way, and he takes ball 4 down to first base with a walk.
Remember I mentioned that when Claudio gets the ball up, lefty on lefty, he's coming right at your hip pocket, but Spangenberg stays on it nicely. 76 spinner, just a little frisbee, not much on it at all. Whether it was a changeup or some type of breaking ball, he mashed it.
So 2 down, first and second, and headed out there is Doug Rocal, the pitching coach here, with Cordoba announced, and headed out to talk to Claudio here as they'll meet at the mound. Padres have added a run here in the bottom of the 7th inning, have a 5-1 lead. And the power of 3 home runs in this game. Schimpf, Hedges, and more recently Corey Spangenberg here in the 7th inning. Plate umpire Jeff Kellogg out to break up the conversation, a lengthy one. Two on, two down, and Córdoba coming up. Solarte at second, Schimpf at first. Strike one. Ball on a strike now. Check swing. Did he go? They're not going to check. And it's 2-1. Now they'll check, and they said he didn't go.
I thought he went.
First base umpire Tim Timmons.
So the count now in his favor. See if Córdoba can do something with it.
In there for strike two.
72-mile-an-hour changeup.
Córdoba pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot here with two down. Solarte at second base, Schimpf at first. Arnett on to a 5-1 Padres lead. A little flare that's caught by Napoli. The first baseman leaping in the air to make the grab to end the inning. But Corey Spangenberg with a home run gives the Padres a 5-1 lead at the end of 7.
The 8th inning, and the Padres looking for a win, need a win, and bringing in the big guns.
Yeah, you think about yesterday and the off day, the rain out, it really benefited the bullpen. They needed a day of rest to just take a step back. This is a helpful time here, especially in this game.
Coming up on Padres Live, the post-game show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communications. We'll break down all the highlights from tonight. A nice home run, too, by not Ryan Buckner. I was going to say Corey Spangenberg. Got myself a little confused.
Ryan
also, Ryan
Schimpf,
Schimpf. Everybody's doing what they're doing. We're going to have Andy Green. We'll have all that for you and more after the final out. And hopefully, I'll get my tongue untied and I'll be a little more lucid when I see
fine.
What could go wrong? Don, Mark?
All right, Mike and Mark, we appreciate it. We look forward to that post game as Ryan Buckner into the game. Third RBIs tonight for Andy Green into his 15th game of the year.
That one run that the Padres scored in their bottom half of the 7th is huge. They are up by 4. Ryan Buckner gets the 8th. An inning of work, his 15th game this season.
Rougned Odor leading it off here. 0-4-3 in the game. Great job again by Brad Hand tonight.
Ryan Buchter has not allowed a hit to the first batter he's faced in 12 of his 14 appearances, Don. And we know how important that first out is, especially when you have a lead like the Padres do right here.
Odor will pop it up.
That's a home run in a phone booth.
Spangenberg just taken over at third will make the catch. That turned into a bit of an adventure, but Spangenberg makes the grab. Odor is out number 1. Here are the changes. Spangenberg moving from left field to third base. Alan Cordoba, who just pinch hit in the pitcher spot, takes over in left field. Ryan Schiff comes out of the game, and Ryan Buchter has out number 1 here of the 8th inning. Brings up Elvis Andrus, who has struck out and walked twice. Brad Hand went an inning and 2/3 a hit. Did give up the home run to Shin-Soo Choo. Didn't walk anybody. Struck out 3. And Padres pitching on the night. They have 10 strikeouts. 7 for the starter Cahill and 3 for Brad Hand.
Mentioned it earlier that this Texas Ranger team second most strikeouts in the American League. A lot of whiffs.
There's a strike, 2-1. Trevor Cahill started tonight 5 1/3, only gave up 1 hit. No runs, walked 5, struck out 7. Rangers have been out hit 10-2. Ground ball to short. Ibar. 2 down in the 8th inning. I remind you to join us tomorrow. Play day baseball here from Petco Park in San Diego. A.J. Griffin will be matched up against Jared Weaver. As Griffin 3-0 with a 3.54 earned run average. Weaver looking for his first win in a Padres uniform. And we'll get you started with Padres Live at noon tomorrow, as it's the Padres and Rangers in game 2 of what's a 2-city 4-game series. 2 here, 2 in Arlington, home and home.
It's the Long Beach Dirtbag against the USD Torero. Hook and horns tomorrow. A.J. Griffin. Pitched for Rich Hill over at USD.
Swinging a foul tip off the bat of Gomez. Elevated, and he chased 92-mile-an-hour fastball that was up.
Yeah, Buchter likes to do that. He likes to pick sharp in the zone. You know, once in a while, he'll get a breaky ball down near the back foot, but the fastball up around the letters, maybe even higher. Tough to get on top of.
Strike 3 call, frozen. Buchter gets his first strikeout as a 1-2-3-8. Padres have a 5-1 lead. 3 in the contest. Ryan Schimpf, Austin Hedges, and more recently in the 7th inning, Corey Spangenberg. The Rangers have a home run of their own too. Shin-Soo Choo homering in this game for the Rangers, but Spangenberg getting his first 2017. The Padres have a 5-1 lead as they come to bat here in the last half of the 8th inning. Out hitting the Rangers 10-2. Keone Kelly into the game now for the Rangers, and his first pitch. A miss for ball 1 at 97 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's got a good arm. Good downward angle, over the top, high 3/4.
Popped up, foul ground. Napoli from first. Over by the Padres dugout will make the catch. With room to spare over there for the first out here, the last of the 8th.
Tenth game for Kella, and as I mentioned, the high ERA, but you know, the bullpen right now for the Texas Rangers have not been pitching well. Maybe a big hit there, but this kid's got good stuff. The walk is a problem as well in 8 innings, plus 6 free passes.
Ground ball right side at Odor off the bat of Ibar. He's out number 2 of the 8th inning. Kella taking over for Claudio, who led an inning, giving up a run. That was the home run we saw for Corey Spangenberg. A couple of hits, a walk and a K. And Nick Martinez, the starter tonight for the Rangers, right now on the hook. Well, the bullpen woes you were talking about, highest bullpen ERA, 3rd highest. Only the Tigers and Mariners with a higher collective earned run average as a staff. Second AB for Jabari Blash, who struck out swinging in the 6th inning. Cranks it foul off to the right and dealing with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
You know how I give keys to the game before, like in the 1st inning? You know it's a key I like every night for a home game? Let's play 8.5.
It's a good key to have.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully that comes to fruition tonight.
You should run that out there tomorrow in your keys to the game for the day game. Start fresh.
A little precursor of for our viewers tomorrow.
Yeah. Jared Weaver on the mound tomorrow for game 2.
I think I'm going to go with it.
Blash with kind of a check swing, but able to hold up. Blash in the air to right field, down towards the pole, and it is foul just to the right of the pole. Blash was halfway to second base, thinking that thing had wrapped its way around the pole, but a foul ball, the indication by Tim Timmons, the first base umpire. Padres are not going to challenge. Yep. Foul ball. Lose sight of it.
Yep. When a guy throws as hard as Kella, you just need to get the bat head out in front of the plate and let the ball, power from the pitcher, do the work.
Comes back and strikes him out to end the inning. To the 9th we go. 5-1. Padres have the lead. Star of the game, and Trevor Cahill is that star. 5 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, walked 5 and struck out 7. Right now, the pitcher of record for the Padres looking for win number 3 of the year, which would push him up individually to 3-2 on the year. But he was very good tonight, Bud.
You know what? After that first inning, he struck out the side and never ran into trouble. In the 4th inning, got a base runner to second base. In the 5th inning, a runner to second base. But other than that, Trevor Cahill was lights out. He continues to impress with each and every start.
Especially at home. 3 starts, 0.49 ERA. And 20 strikeouts, 18 2/3 innings. Well, it's not a safe situation, but Brandon Maurer coming in, trying to nail this victory down for the Padres in the 9th inning. They have a 4-run advantage. Joey Gallo leading it off here for Texas. In save opportunities, Maurer 4 for 4. Lefty's only hitting 154 against him. And this particular lefty is quickly down 0-2. Gallo tonight 0 for 3, has struck out twice in the contest. Maurer taking over for Buchter, who had a perfect inning and had a strikeout mixed in. Padres pitching with 11 Ks on the night, 7 for Cahill, 3 for Hand, 1 for Buchter. Padres shifting on the right side here on Gallo. Swing and a foul. We're talking about Buchter not allowing hits to the first batter. Maurer has allowed just 1 hit to the first batter in the first 12 appearances he's had on the year. In the dirt, and it's a full count now. Three-two. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out Gallo to start the 9th inning.
Wow. That's some gas right there from Maurer. 5-1 lead. No messing around. Here's the heater. See how far you can hit it.
1 down here in the 9th inning, and it brings up Jonathan Lucroy. 0 for 3. Grounded out to second, reached on a fielder's choice, and last time up struck out looking. Chop back to Maurer. 2 down in the 9th. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Find the big hit. Hey, look at that. Padres 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position and 3 solo shots. Get to the Rangers' pen. 2 innings, 2 hits, and 1 earned run. Of course, they got to the starter Martinez with 2 solo shots. Schimpf and Hedges. And Spangenberg with those solo shots. Spangenberg with the home run off of Claudio.
Napoli fouls into the screen, and it's 0-2. And Schimpf part of the home run parade here tonight for the Padres. 2 down in the 9th, and an 0-2 pitch to Mike Napoli. Is just outside. $17,756 on hand tonight. No standing here at Petco Park. The pitch. That is strike 3, and that's the ball game. Padres win. Little Maurer power here in the 9th inning to wrap it up. Padres taking game 1 of the series against the Rangers. postgame is next. What's in store, Mike Pomerantz?
See, on the postgame show, we've got a lot really for you. We're hearing from Andy Green, what he thought was the key to this ball game, a game that this Padre team really needed, and the bats finally awakened. You'll see the highlights and more in moments.